Hello everyone. So myself Satchidanandam, working as associate professor in Department of IT, Mlritm Dundigal. So here we are discussing about web technologies. As part of this, we learned today about the PHP, introduction to PHP here. Okay. So web technologies we know. So these technologies are useful for developing and web applications, where we use different technologies to perform different operations as part of the applications here. So in this web technologies, the technologies like PHP is used for server-side validation, JavaScript for client-side validation, and to implement the actions, we use servlets and JSPs. So all these technologies are useful for developing a web application or websites. Okay. Here first we go through the PHP, introduction to PHP. The objective here is to introduce PHP language for server-side scripting. Okay. So here the PHP is a server-side scripting language and a powerful tool making dynamic interactive web pages. So it's widely used for free and efficient alternative to competitors such as Microsoft ASPs. So here we know by learning this how to use this PHP with the other technologies to implement the web technologies. So like HTML, XML, JavaScript, Ajax, servlets and JSPs are part of this. First we see the PHP language for server-side scripting. So PHP, what is PHP, why it is to be? So PHP is nothing but hypertext preprocessor, can also be known as recursive acronym like PHP hypertext processor. Okay. PHP is a server-side scripting language and a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages here. So before we know about the PHP, we need to understand what HTML is. We need to know what HTML, CSS and JavaScript, what its purpose is. You know, HTML is used for displaying the information, present the information here. CSS provide the additional features to the text to be displayed in the pages. So whereas JavaScript for client-side validation here. Okay. So we know first we see what PHP is, how it is to be. But what is PHP? PHP is acronym for PHP hypertext preprocessor here. So PHP hypertext preprocessor. So that's the full form for this one. PHP is a widely used open source scripting language and these scripts are executed on the server and it is free to download and use. So what PHP file represents? These files can contain both the text, HTML, CSS, JavaScript and PHP code. The PHP code is to be executed on the server and the results are returned to the browser as a plain text. So these files have an extension with the .php. PHP files are written and stored as a .php extension. And what PHP can do? With PHP, what we can do? So we can generate dynamic web page content. Dynamic page content here. So how this dynamic page is to be displayed? By executing it on the server, we get the result of execution of the code written in .php files and get results and send to the client. So we can also do create, open, read, write, delete and close files. We can perform an operation on a files also. We can store and retrieve the data from it. That is by using the operations like create, open, read, write, delete and close the files on the server. It can collect data, form data. So as we know, in any website or web applications, we need to give an information in the form of forms, HTML forms. So websites. So where the form sent from the user can get collected by the PHP at the server side. And this PHP can send and receive cookies. What cookie here is? A small information stored as part of the websites. So these cookies can be sent and received to perform an operation on. So PHP can add, delete, modify data in database. It can be used to control user access, like authentication, where username password will be sent to the server and get access and compare or match with the database data. If it matches, then it will give an authentication. So PHP can encrypt data. So these are the things that we can do with the PHP here. So with PHP, you are not only limited to output the HTML. We can output pages, PDF files, and even Flash movies. This is what PHP can do. So we can also output any text like XHTML and XML. Okay. So why this PHP? So a PHP runs on various platforms. As it is a cross platform, we can work with Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS, with different platforms can utilize. So PHP is compatible with almost all servers used in today, like Apache, IIS web servers. So PHP supports a wide range of databases, and it's free and download it from official website like php.net. PHP is easy to learn and efficiently on the server side. So now we see how the PHP can be written. What is the syntax for it? So basic PHP syntax here first. So where we write our code between these two elements, tags we call it as. Okay. A PHP script can be placed anywhere in the document, and scripts starts with less than symbol and question mark and ends with question mark and greater than symbol. So in between these two elements, beginning and ending tag elements, we write our PHP code here. Okay. So default file extension for PHP is a PHP is .php file. Every PHP code written and store it as a .php. This is what basic syntax for writing code in PHP. So we see an example here. This PHP file normally contains HTML tags, some PHP scripting code. Why it is scripting here? It is used this scripting language to perform a client-side validation on server. So as part of the web page written in HTML, so we can include our PHP code where this code can get executed by the server. It's like here simply one statement, less than symbol, question mark, PHP is the beginning tag, and question mark greater than is the end tag. In between we have written the code echo hello world, which simply displays the string of the characters in the output with this echo function here. So this is the output, how it will be displayed in the output. So here hello world is the text to be displayed in the output, whereas header part of a HTML page displays my first page, PHP page is the header. So here PHP file normally contains HTML tags and some PHP scripting code. Below we have an example here. So this is how echo statement, echo command will display in the output. So as part of any programming language, we use comments. These comments are used for the purpose of understanding the code. So what code for is? A comment in PHP code is a line that is not read or executed as part of the program. It's only the purpose to be read by someone who is looking into the code. Comments can be used too. The purpose of comments here is it lets others understand that you are doing what we are doing. So reminds yourself what you did. So most programs have experience coming back to their code after some time and having to re-figure out what they did. So for this purpose, we need a comments to be. Comments can remind you what you are thinking and when you wrote the code. So PHP supports several ways of commenting. See what this different ways of commenting as in other languages. So here in this example, we have different ways, 3 ways of representing the comments here, where as part of the code, which is written in between the beginning and ending tag of a PHP. This is the beginning tag and end tag. So where here this blue line represents, this is a single line comment with double slash. We represent a single line comment. So this can also be done by using the hash symbol. This is also a single line comment here. So where the multiple line comment can be written between the slash star and star slash. So this is what multiple line comments. So whereas other code part of a PHP can be written without any comment specification, where double line double slash represent again single line comment. This is the code to be performed. The operation can be performed and result is stored into the variable x, and x value will be displayed in the output. So what is the operation done here is 5 plus 15 plus 5. So it echoes the values of the $x, variable x, results into the value 10. Okay. This is what an example for representing how the result is to be specified, as there is a comment line which is not part of the output here, only the value of x will be displayed. Next, PHP is a case sensitive, the case sensitivity. So where in PHP all keywords, for example, if, else, while, echo, classes, functions and user defined functions are not case sensitive. So we see, for example, here the code echo a text, a string value will be displayed with the function called echo. So this echo will be represented as a capital and this one will be small with a different case here. So all these are used to represent the function in PHP, as it is a case sensitivity. There is no user defined functions are not case sensitive here. Okay, this is the result for this code to be displayed. So, however, all variable names are case sensitive. So in the example here, in this one, different words with a different case represents different variable values. So only the first statement will display the value of the color. $color is one variable displayed here. So this is because the $color in small letters and capital letters and with different case can be treated as different variables. See here, $color is defined as small case variable. So where only this $color with the small case will display the output. Different all will not display any color. See this, there is no value to be displayed as part of this. This is what case sensitivity, and whereas variables are case sensitive here. PHP declaring variables. How the variables, any programming language needs a variables to store the information that is to be operated here. So variables are containers for storing information. Remember, variables are containers for storing information. A variable can have a short name or a more descriptive name like age, car name, total underscore value. So these are the names of the variables, some of the examples here. So rules for declaring the PHP variables. So these variables are declared and known as a containers for the values to be stored. A variable must start with the dollar sign followed by the name of the variable. And variable name must start with the letter or the underscore character. It must start with a letter or underscore characters. Variable name cannot start with a number. Remember this. A variable name cannot be started with a number. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Remember, a name can contain only alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive. These are case sensitive here, whereas predefined values are non-case sensitive. The PHP variable names are case sensitive. Next is creating and declaring PHP variables. How to declare? So for example here, $text is a variable txt, so which assigns the value hello world. Well, $x is equals to value 5, $y is equals to 10.5. As we are seeing here, there is no type specified for the variable here, as PHP is a loosely typed language. Okay. After the execution of these three statements in PHP, we get the result which stores one string value, integer value, and float value. These are all displayed in the output. Here in this statements, the variable $txt will hold the value hello world, which is a string. The variable $x will hold the value 5, which is integer, and the variable $y will hold the value 10.5, which is a float. Here, when you assign a text, the value to a variable, we need to put quotes around the values like this, double quotes, single quotes. And every statement must end with a semicolon. So these variables can be treated as the container for storing the values here, storing the data. Next, output variables. PHP echo statement is often used to output data to the screen. So as part of this output variable, the information can be displayed in the output using the statements like echo. Echo is one of the functions. So where, as part of this code, the value assigned to the $txt is a string like w3schools.com, which will display the information with the variable name $txt. So where output will be this w3schools.com. Here the variable value will be concatenated with the string to display in the output here. This is what outputting using the echo statement. There is also other way of displaying using print statements. So this is what in this example, say values for the variables $x and $y assigned, and the operation done on these two variables to perform addition, and result will be displayed in the output by using echo statement. This is the output for this code. So from these examples, we understand there is no type specified as part of a variable declaration. So that's why it's a PHP is a loosely typed language. So here we notice that we did not have to tell what PHP which data type is a variable is. It automatically converts the variable to the correct data type depending on its values. So other than like in other languages like C, C++, Java, the programmer must declare the name and type of the variable before using it. But here it is no need to specify the type of the variable. That's why it's a loosely typed language here. PHP variable scope. So in PHP variables can be declared anywhere in the script, and the scope of the variable can be a local, global, and static. The global scope, a variable declared outside a function has a global scope, can only accessed outside the function. See, for example, here the function is definition in this one, and there is a variable declared as with global scope, cannot be accessed in the within the function. As we see, The echo statement variable x inside the function $x is assigned, but there is no value displayed in the output. So whereas outside the function, we can use this to display the value here, as it is a global declaration. Local scope. A variable declared within the function has a local scope, can only access within it, cannot be accessed outside the function. This is how. This is the displayed within the text. My test function will be displayed its value, but when we call it outside the function, it is not going to display any value. So that's what local scope. PHP, the global keyword is used to access this global variables. The global keyword is used to access the global variable from within the function. If you want to access within the function, we can use this global keyword. To do this, use the global keyword before the variable inside the function here. Like for example, $x, $y are the outside the function defined, then they are global, can access by using the global keyword before these variables. So this way we can get the result of this statement, where we can access it outside the function and inside the function and results into it. PHP also stores all global variables in an array called $globals with index value, is the name of the variable. Index holds the name of the variable. This array is also accessible from within the function and can be used to upload the global variables directly. For example, here $x, $y are the global variables, can be accessed by using the array called $globals with the name of the variable y, and which is equals to $globals x plus $global y, which returns the value of the addition of these two variables and display in the output as 50. This is what global variables here. Next, static. So where normally when the function is completed, executed, all of its variables are deleted. So if we want, we need to access this after compilation, after execution, we need to declare them as a static. Sometimes if you want a local variable not to be deleted, we need it for the job, then we do this by using static keyword. So when you want to when you are first declaration. So this is how the static declaration, as in this example, function my test, where the local variable static $x is equals to 0. So which will display the x value after executing. Again, if we execute this 0, 1 and 2, 3 times it is called, and the value will be restored. So this is how PHP, echo and print statements. That's about the declaration of global variables, static variables and local variables. So to display the output, we use echo and print statements. PHP echo and print statements, in which the PHP, there are two basic ways to get output: echo, using echo and print. Echo and print are more or less the same. They both use to output the data to the screen. The difference is small. That is, echo has no written value, whereas print has a written value of 1. So it can be used in expressions. Echo can take multiple parameters, although such as usage is very less, while print can take one argument. Echo is marginally faster than print. This is how the PHP echo or echo function can be used to display the output. To display the text, this is the way, where echo statement, the string can be written in the double quotes and will display in the output. Displaying variables. Variables can be declared and assign the values and can be used to display by using the statement echo with the name of the variable, with some including HTML tags also. Print statement is similar to this echo. We use the print with double quotes where the variables and values can be displayed. This is how the example for using the output text and variables values. So text1, text2 and $x, $y are the values declared and can be used as part of the print statement to display in the output. This is how the value will be displayed. That's all about in today's class. So these are the references. Thank you.